Hi, welcome to my channel. You may have heard the news by now that has Nigerians jumping for joy and Congolese clutching their hearts and saying their prayers. And that news is that the Democratic Republic of Congo might be disqualified for fielding players who were not eligible to play in the last game against Nigeria, in which they beat us on penalties after drawing 1-1 in extra time. But I have to ask myself this honest, tough question. Does Nigeria really deserve a slot to the World Cup through the back door? Do they? For me personally, I think not. And here's why. I think even if Congo got disqualified and we went on and snuck in through the back door, first of all, I think we would probably take that opportunity for granted. I'm just saying. Um, if you look at the attitude with which we played, there's been total lack of commitment throughout the campaign. Apart from the likes of Victor Osimhen, for instance, I mean that's one player who just he puts in his best in every game. But apart from the likes of him, it's been a lackluster performance from Nigeria for the most part. And when they failed to beat Congo, I was like, yeah, you know what? As much as I'd like to see my country at the World Cup, they didn't do enough to deserve a spot at the World Cup. And they would probably embarrass us if they went to the World Cup anyway. So they might as well stay home, go back to the drawing board, and maybe do better next time. I will still enjoy the World Cup regardless of whether my country of birth is there or not. I've been enjoying it since I was 8 years old, and that's not going to change now. So I called up a buddy of mine, a seasoned sports journalist. His name is Samson Omale. And I asked him if Nigeria deserved this slot to the World Cup and what he thought was going to happen and what he thinks of the situation. And here's what he had to say.
So let's take it from where they started. The Nigerian Football Federation actually filed a petition with the Federation of International Football Association, popularly known as FIFA, the governing body for football, that the Democratic Republic of Congo had used ineligible players, right, in their recent 2026 World Cup playoffs match, which the Super Eagles lost on penalties. Now, we understand that those players are as much as six. The law in Congo prohibits players having or citizens having dual citizenship. In this instance, we understand that some of the players have dual passports, as it were. I mean, from their various countries, and then of course they fielded those players during that playoff. Now, from the question you've asked, does Nigeria deserve to be at the World Cup? It's neither here or there. If you go by the petition written by the NFF, if the DR Congo side had contravened the law, it's perfect. Let the law take its course. But on the basis of the performance of the Super Eagles, that's another kettle of fish altogether. Because if you look at what the Super Eagles have played so far, it appears they are undeserving to be at the party, really, when hostilities begin in the United States, Canada, and Mexico in 2026. They've not done so well, and the playoff served the national team, the Super Eagles, an opportunity for them to reinvent and redeem their image. Unfortunately, they capitulated when it mattered the most. And you look at even build up to the Nations Cup, it's also a far cry from what you will expect. So, whether or not Nigeria deserve to be at the World Cup, it's going to be a debate. But the thing again is the fact that the World Cup is the biggest football or biggest football spectacle in the world. We went at Qatar 2022, and missing out in 2026 will be a back-to-back absence for the Super Eagles, and that will not be good for the development of our football, especially when you look at some of our stars. Some of them may likely not be there anymore, and you expect that for a nation that had back-to-back had the African Football of the Year in its squad, missing out of the World Cup isn't something anybody should be excited about. But Wait to see what FIFA does. It's going to be really a waiting game again. As some people have said, the Super Eagles couldn't go through the qualifiers. Again, they missed out on the playoff, and now they want to come through the back door. Is this something that we should encourage? Is this something we should celebrate? Is this something we should be hopeful for? Time will tell, because FIFA has got the ace, and we'll wait for them to pronounce what they will do after the investigation.
Well, you heard what Samson O'Malley had to say about the situation. He called it hostilities. That's funny. Well, anyway, as he put it, the hostilities will begin in 2026. And, it's something I'm going to enjoy regardless. I'm going to enjoy it regardless of whether Nigeria makes it there or not. The whole fire brigade approach doesn't work all the time. A friend of mine was telling me just yesterday how what he really hates about the situation whenever we're in a tournament is we don't get the results even when we should. And then after that, everyone becomes a mathematician. We start calculating figures and adding numbers. If this person beats that person by this number of goals, then we might get in. And oh, come on. And I agree with him. It's quite annoying. Wrap it up when you have the chance and don't wait to start calculating figures and depending on other people performing or not performing. Get the job done yourself.